Some news came out actually the other day about Neve Campbell talking about Scream 7. I did post a short about it, so if you've seen that already, you already know what this video is about. But at the same time, I do have to relieve some different expectations to kind of give you another little theory about what I think is going to happen. Guys, if you haven't already, subscribe to the Lemon Nation, turn on those notification bell buttons, as well as like this video because, you know, you fucking should. And we're going to go ahead and dive into Scream 7. So let's do it. So diving in right now, we have Neve Campbell coming out talking about Scream 7. Here's the clip right here.
They're struggling at the moment. I would imagine that the people at the top are spinning a little bit, trying to make the right decision. I would imagine people want to do the right thing. I would hope. I love this franchise. I love it for Wes. I love it for all the people who've been involved in the past, and even the newer cast. And I would hope it doesn't fall apart.
Is there any hope in the future that you would rejoin it given like the right circumstances?
Given the right circumstances, yes. You know, I made a statement several years ago, and it was the reason that I didn't do the film at the time, and I just really felt the need to stand up and say that I don't believe I would have been treated that way had I been a man carrying a franchise for 25 years, and that still stands, you know. So if they were to choose to come back to me, that would continue to be my favorite. We'll see.
If they were smart, they would come back.
Yeah, and we'll see.
But to exceed expectations, she is definitely denying any type of communication between Paramount, Spyglass, and herself. You know, talking a little bit more about what to expect from her part in Scream 7. Even though her character did not appear in Scream 6, we still had some sort of offer there, you know, kind of giving you a tribute to her with this particular line, which worked perfectly for the time being. And now that we've lost Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega, I feel like we've lost our entire core 4. The core 4 in general, I think, was a cheesy idea. I think the name sucked. I think that the idea behind these 4 being survivors together was an interesting factor, but they should have eased away from that, because then we wouldn't have, you know, cared about these characters too much to the point where we, you know, hated it when they, you know, got cut off the screen. But in order for this franchise to continue on, we can now expect a different delivery for Scream 7, meaning that we could go back in time to the events of Scream 4 and continue Kevin Williamson's and Wes Craven's original idea for a sequel to Scream 4. Now, I don't believe the core 4 is going to be back in these next few films because of one particular reason. That I feel like the story of Sam and Tara is now concluded. I think we can now move on to something a little bigger and better. I would like to see a time jump, possibly 10 to 15 years later, when Sydney's daughters are in high school. So back in Scream 5, we did see her pushing a stroller. It was a dual stroller. I think she has identical twin daughters. This means now we can push a little bit further and dive a little bit deeper into the story of Sidney Prescott and now her family. Her being married to Mark brings him back into the whole picture, and that way we can get a little bit more of a story in the background. Someone may be obsessed with their mother, kind of starts to go after them, and we can figure out the rest of the motive later on. But I do feel like that's a good start to what could be, and what I do personally would like to see on the screen if we were going to continue to Scream 7. Not giving it a tagline, continue the story, call it Scream 7, because this does take place 10 years after the events of New York and Sam and Tara. But guys, what do you think about all of this? Do you think Neve Campbell will return for Scream 7? Leave your thoughts and comments down below. Subscribe to the Lemon Nation if you haven't already. And of course, guys, never forget that lemons fly.